So you better stop making me a lunatic. Making me a
Hey, look, Menulog.
Maybe it's not going to be just me and then 3 of the other.
Oh, Kitty, why are you copying me again, man?
You know, I've looked at the script. I believe something is gonna happen tonight, Skimmy. So don't you worry. Where's Mac?
I was going to say that's a Menulog moment, but if you look there, it wasn't. I'm having PTSD just looking back at that. Now, I wonder if we're going to have something similar, of course, going into the final game of the night. I wouldn't be surprised. Kitty, hey.
Hi, Kitty.
Whoa,
How you going?
big dog.
Hi, Kitty. Welcome.
Hey guys.
Coming
Welcome to
early.
the segment.
Huh?
I didn't expect to be here, but hello, I am now here. So.
Enjoy. Now, look, I just want to quickly have a shout out to Menulog as well, because we have the Menulog meal time at the start of the day, and if you're not getting on earlier, you got to get on early because there's that $30 giveaway, and if you're here, you can be in it to win it, but if you're not, then you're missing out. So make sure you're on nice and early to be part of Menulog meal time when it's on. But look, we got to talk about the game. Let's talk about Chiefs. They are currently whatever and 1. I think it's like 8-1, 9-1, however many bloody days of games we've had now. And yesterday, Tally had a very, very nice performance in mid, didn't he, Rusty?
He did. He had a very good performance for himself. Yesterday's game in general, I feel like we're broken records now talking about this, but Chiefs, all of the top 4 teams looked really good in their wins. I think the only exception to that was perhaps the Pike from the side of the Chiefs that might be explored. But this is also the game against Gravitas where they were definitely pushed to their, I don't want to say limits, but they were definitely challenged more than perhaps some other teams have challenged the Chiefs in the past. And it's nice to see, right, that when they once again face those challenges, they still just come out way too strong. Topoon, blanks on the Akali, for example, as well. I mean, they were just beasts.
I need to figure out where it is, but it seems like Raze is always that one with just so much extra gold in the bank. But speaking of gold, I'm looking at Fato in mid. Man is a golden super sub coming in and look, really filling in perfectly yesterday. Now, of course, the rest of the roster as well has had their good games, had their bad games, and we're still waiting for it all to sort of come together at once, right, Skimmy?
We are, and I think as far as, like, you know, re-debuts, if you will, right, because Fido has played competitive before, and as far as his first game on this roster went, you know, first blood, great aggression, found opportunities there with only as the Hecarim nice and early on into the game. So I feel like there's another clear idea of where they could look to try and exploit some weaknesses that they can try and find some moments to punish, because top lane's always going to be tough. Topoon is going to have fond memories of this one, getting the solo kill into the Jace, and then basically saying, you're never going to have another contribution in this game or whatsoever. We're just watching a highlight reel of him outperform in that lane in particular. But I mean, once again, yeah, right, the Chiefs are so stacked across the board. So you really are looking at Kanga trying to find a crazy draft upset or just some avenue of creative attack.
Yeah, creativity is probably going to be key here because you've got to do something a little different to try to get under the skin of Chiefs, maybe, to get a dub here today. Although, look, with Kanga, I feel like it's one of these teams where anything can be possible. It just depends on how they feel on the day, right? We saw that there was some sort of in-team goings on when I was chatting with Lemus the other day. He was bloody talking stuff about Lionel, and I'm like, bro, come on, we're live on broadcast. This is not cool.
Back to anime real quick. Diffuse the situation.
Let's just talk about anime. Let's just pretend everything's bloody all butterflies and rainbows. Now, look, Kitty, I heard you have someone ready for an interview.
I believe another anime watcher is Raze, and I brought him in for the interview to end the night. Hello, Raze. Welcome to the interview. How have you been?
Hey, pretty happy. Good.
So it's absolutely pouring in Sydney now. How's the Brisbane weather?
The weather's pretty on and off. It was raining earlier. Right now, it's just dark, so it doesn't seem like it's raining. It's just dark out. Not rain at all.
Well, hopefully the weather's better there. But talking about Brisbane, I actually saw some photos tweeted by Tally and Draku that there were like 10 billion spiders and king toads sitting on the road. Do you have any crazy encounters like that?
I haven't had any crazy encounters, but there's definitely like a lot of toads around if you just go outside during the night. Like, I've walked like to the gym with Draco once, and there's like this long bridge, and there's just, I don't know, probably like 100, maybe more than 100 spiders like under that bridge. So it's pretty scary, but it should be fine.
Well, hopefully there's no one who has the fear of spiders living in Brisbane, but there probably is. Let's talk about Menulog. So what's your favorite order on Menulog?
I actually think I've only used Menulog once in my life, so I don't know, I guess KFC, since don't think I could have ordered KFC on Uber Eats, so yeah, it has to be KFC.
Well, we'll definitely do some more exploring on Menulog after tonight's match. Best of luck and thanks for the interview.
Yep, thank you.
Race, not a real one. Not a real one at all.
Not a real one.
No, definitely not a real one. Now, look, let's talk predictions. Let's start to get right into it. Chiefs up against Kanga. I feel like there's only one way a lot of it can go, and I'm not going to be surprised if it is going to be a repeat of what we saw on the Menupog moment before. Look, yeah, not surprised here. So, of course, we're on for the underdogs. Yeah, you tried for one game, and it's just like, you know, now I'm even further behind.
Yeah. What do you do, man? If there's just such heavy favourites, what do you do, right? You have to at this point, right? Or Kitty's just going to be way too far ahead. I'm just going to be joining you on the underdogs soon.
Yeah, well, look, Kitty coming in clutch as the resident champion on the desk. You know, any words to say at the moment? You know, we are now, or very, very close to reaching that halfway mark. So it's all uphill for me.
Well, it seems that I usually get these predictions where I think it's like a 70%, maybe an 80% accuracy on these predictions. So if you want to put on those channel points on those teams, you know, go with me because I'm usually the one right. But talking about King, I actually really liked what Fido brought to the team, especially from that Vex. He was really aggressive with it, which is what Liv said, I believe. So I'm really excited to see what Kinga have in store for us.
Yeah, I feel like I want to see something creative, like I said before. I want to see something different, you know, something maybe a little bit cheesy to really just throw the Chiefs off today. But look, Chiefs, they had Pike in bot lane yesterday. That was interesting because Draco was hitting a whole bunch of hooks. I wonder if he's going to pull something crazy out again today, Skin.
Look, surely. I've been asking all split long. You've been hyping up these enchantress. Please, Draco, just one time. Just be a real one. Just give us a Sono. Just give us something crazy. Just give us something for me to scream about. I know Sono probably isn't in the same category as a typical conversation where you go, Sono, crazy. They don't really gel together like peanut butter and jelly, but hey, just do it. Why not?
Speaking of PB&J, I'm going to go crank one of those sangers because right now Champ Select's ready and I'm hungry, so I'm going this way.
I think we all are, Mac. 9 p.m. here, local time for us. So after this one, it is time to feast. Much like the Kanga Esports side, we hoping that they can try and feast on a dub.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be hunting for one desperately. Chiefs definitely the upper hand in this best of one, Skimmy. But getting through the draft phase, we know that Chiefs do have the opportunity for a lot of unique support champions. I think we also know that Lionel seems at the moment like he's just got a very small pocket full of them. So that could be one of the places we see a high variance in for champions that could be chosen. One other thing here is that only on the Hecarim looked very good. I think that's a pretty comfortable place for him. We also saw him recently play the Karthus. If he wants to put the team on his back and be the carry, I think Karthus is still a decent option for that. But usually that would have to be a counter to a farming jungler. I feel like it'd be free. In saying that, you can actually run, you know what, just pick Karthus. I've convinced myself mid-sentence.
Okay.
Every game's a Karthus angle. What's a Xin gonna do besides hard counter you with his ultimate?
Yeah, that's it. There was a world in which I was thinking, well, what about, if only, now join Minus Journey for a second, what if they just lock in right here, Olaf Yuumi? Just give us the Olaf, give us the Yuumi, give me flashbacks to Order 2020, and it was just him running amok, just killing everyone.
I think that is like, it's okay until the Chiefs lock in like a Nautilus. And then you've got a Yuumi into the Nautilus bot lane with a Xin just diving you off cooldown. But then you have an Olaf. Certainly possible. Olaf is a champion that we need to see a little bit more of. I feel like, I don't think the teams feel like it just yet. In fact, Volibear. I think this is the second team to play the Volibear.
Yeah, only been Gudo so far.
Only Gudo, yeah. But we know Only can play it. We also know that Tahm Kench, according to Beats, is broken, but according to Rogue, can be beaten with Enchant. So now we've got to ask a third support mate, don't we, really?
We do, yeah. what does Lionel think of things? And he said, well, we're locking in Tahm Kench. It's going to be Tahm Kench Jinx. We're going to give him protection. Does that mean perhaps Draku does answer the call and gives us that support, that Sona, that Enchanter, something along the lines? What will be given to us is our second Corki in what feels like an eternity. It feels like it was pick banned 100% every single week up until around about midway through week 4. And now this will be only second time.
Yeah, the Corki, we said this yesterday, we don't think Corki's removed from the meta at all. Corki's nerfs aren't something that have removed his power, they've just removed a lot of the spike timings with packages. It's still there for objectives if you play it correctly. Xin Zhao as well with the Corki. Lots of damage potential from a jungler. I wouldn't mind seeing either a high threat support or a top laner here though from the side of the Chiefs to make their composition just make more sense in my head. Something to work with the Xin. It could be a Thresh, right? I think Thresh, Aphelios, and Thresh Xin Zhao are actually insane. Like, it's actually really easy to get vision control when you've got a Xin. If they try and 5-man dive him, he's got the ultimate lanterns to save him as well. Helps a Corki, who tends to package a little bit too far as well.
I really have to ask though. We've just had double Yordle bans. Vex is gone, it makes sense, but we're banning away Tristana with Jinx already locked in. Am I seeing a potential idea with Fido just playing mid Tristana?
Yeah, he is a mid-Trist player. That is absolutely true. He is a mid-Trist player, and I think that is a good ban from the Chiefs. I wasn't going to say anything until he picked it. I wanted that to be like a pocket pick, but it's already seeing ban attention before he can play it, so I think it's pretty clear. Tally's struggling, by the way, with his glasses.
Yes.
How'd you not clean him when you've got the fabric?
I do live for these player cams at the best of times, right? So entertaining.
I think that's Akshan. It's so hard to tell in his icon.
You just don't know anymore. Yuumi has been confirmed. Okay, so it is going to be the support, or the Enchanter rather, into the Tahm Kench. We get to see whether they can punish it accordingly with the scaling working in that favor.
Okay, yeah, so Yuumi's going to be working potentially with the Xin. Corki, of course, Yuumi does provide a lot of extra bonus stats as the game progresses. Points in that W. So you can have Corki rockets with the Yuumi amplifying that one. Still waiting to see what exists for top lane for the Chiefs. I personally, again, this is my LPL brain, wouldn't mind an engaged champion for the Chiefs, but they can play like the Jace type composition with this perfectly fine. And another pick that is pretty unique to Fighto has been locked in.
Yeah, his most played of all time when it comes to competitive gaming. Cassiopeia makes his debut this year in the LCO, and also Lift is going to get his hands on the GP. So we have a lot of area control with the barrels, with the poison. But a lot of global damage too, to really try and shut down portions of the map.
So it's a really odd comp for me on Kanga's side. I get what they're doing, but I also think that the Chiefs do just lock in the Jace angle here and are pretty comfortable into it. What Kanga have got is very good kiting, like towards their own team, right? So Jinx long-range champion. You've got Cassiopeia that has zones of control, and Gangplank who has zones of control with the kegs and with the miasma. So they are exceptional mid-range champions at defending the long-range Jinx. Tahm Kench and Volibear also have exceptional dive together. If you put the Tahm Kench, or the Volibear rather, into the Tahm Kench lane, they can go straight onto the turret with the W, disable the structures, easy dive attempts. And you can also put those two together working towards the lanes of like the Cass and the Gangplank. A lot of laughter for this Cho'Gath pick, Skimmy, and I'm trying to work out why.
I have been watching, and I was saying either somebody's made a crack-up joke in the lobby as we've loaded in.
Right?
Look, surely it's a crack-up joke, or they're just cracking up at the fact that Tapoon's going to be relegated to playing Cho'Gath. Either way, we're going to find out soon. It looks like we are getting a lobby remake, so we'll get confirmation in just a second from the production as to what that does entail, if that Cho'Gath is in fact confirmed. But for the meantime, you just get to look at us. So, hello. Welcome back to the LCO. If you're just tuning in, then welcome for the very last match of the night. Should be a bit of a blitz with David and Goliath, you'd have to say, right? Top of the table, up against the bottom.
Yeah, it's a tough match, right? It's a very tough match for Kanga. Uphill battle, I don't think, is even the half of it. And they're having to deal now with the Yuumi, with the high scaling bottom lane. lots of difficulties, I think it's fair to say, for the side of Kanga. But the last time we saw them, there was a lot more positives to look at. There was a lot more things to look forward to seeing them play today. It's just that we saw it and we're like, that's great. Now you have to do it against the Chiefs. Good luck. It's a completely different game.
Yeah. I mean, right now you're staring at a rather unhealthy win-loss for the side of Kanga. One victory, though, against Peace, right? So if they can get upsets, they certainly have taken down the biggest in the region to date so far. So we'll see what they can do into a team like Chiefs. Let's bring Mac back into the conversation whilst we buy some time for that lobby to come back up and available.
What's
Welcome
going
back.
on? I didn't finish my PB&J yet, and I had to come back on the broadcast. It's a complete travesty. Fortunately, I got Menulog, so I'll just get something on the way while we're chilling. Anyway, what happened in Champ Select? I saw a bit of Yumi action. We didn't really get that Soraka that I think a couple of people wanted Draku to play.
I'm glad we got Yumi though, right? Like if there's ever a time to see a Yumi come out, it had to be Draco, right? So I'm so glad that we finally do get him on an Enchanter.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of fun. I saw that Akshan hover and I was like, okay, I want to see a bit of this. Let's see it go.
Yeah.
Didn't happen though. And Cho, I think Cho's an interesting one. We'll see how that goes. If anyone can play it, it's probably Tapoon, right? So. What are we expecting, and how is that going to go in lane? Because I feel like it's the first Cho we've seen this split at least. I don't know if it's the first one we've seen in the LCO. I think we had maybe one last year.
Cho always exists around the outskirts of the meta, so I feel like you'll get one is split, like...
That is the first to split, yeah. I was just trying to remember, but it will go back to like the old Legacy roster, right? Where Tally was playing it in mid lane.
Yeah, he plays in mid. Which again, I was in my head when I saw the Cho locked in. I was like, what was their mid laner again? Because is that
like
flexible?
Corki. Where's this Corki going? Yeah, I mean, could be a Corki top, right? Could just go shield
used to be a top laner.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking back on the stream as well. So if it is Cho top, how's that going to a Gangplank? Like, what are we going to expect? Because this seems like nowhere near as aggressive of a sort of matchup that we've seen from like most of the games lately, right?
Yeah, I think Gangplank tends to want to be a weaker side champion in general, right? Wants to sit back and just do his thing, farm as much as you can with Q because you get extra bonus gold. The Cho'Gath, I feel as though Cho'Gath just wins. In saying that, there is obviously windows where Gangplank can control the lane. Like when Gangplank gets a Sheen Mac, the life is just miserable for anyone who's versing it. He just sits there and Qs you off cooldown. But if Cho handles the kegs, I think he gets passive health back because it's last hitting technically.
Yep.
And he just kind of pushes minions, so he's
Does
fine.
Sheen proc on the global ult?
The global ult?
Yeah.
On his Cannon Barrage?
I don't think that the ult procs on hits, does it?
Not that I'm aware of.
I can't remember because things change so much, like Ezreal Q.
Yep.
Yeah, put us on the spot.
No, well, sorry. I thought that was like something that was
No,
like
I don't think it does. I think it'd be weird if it did.
At
So
least
like,
it's interesting,
broken,
that I've asked something that you both don't know. Let's go with that route,
true.
right? It's like,
I'm
oh,
Googling
cool. That'd be a cool little interaction. But look, speaking of globals, you got that as a global ult, and you've also got the Jinx there as well. So, mate, there's like presence all across the map in that regard for Kanga. So at least they've got that going for them, Don't have to go for the rotates, can sort of sit in their lanes and still have impact and try to like counter gank or help out with ganks as well by, staying in lane.
Yeah, I think that's always been like one of the strengths of GP, right? Like you can just quietly achieve in the top lane, farming up a storm, clearing the way with the barrels, getting your item spikes quite nice and easily, right? And then whenever a team fight breaks out, you just hit the Cannon Barrage, cut off a portion of the map. That could be like a Drake, that could be a bot lane 2v1. Your jungler comes in, everyone's just getting a bit of gold, assists and bounties and all the rest of it. I think it's always a fun pick, but you do see only a small fraction of top laners play the GP.
It's really simple in concept, Mac, and it's one of the reasons I like Gangplank. It still needs good hands to play it successfully, to be fair, but if you have Gangplank versus any other champion that doesn't have a global, you have more impact for the whole game that you're not being played towards, right? Because you just have something they don't have. So if you're going even in lane, you're 1, scaling, and 2, impacting side lanes successfully. And if they put everything towards you, your team can play cross-map and trade, and you just ult the turret. So I just think Gangplank's ultimate's broken.
And speaking of turrets, you also have the volley as well. get a couple of sneaky ults through, sneaky ganks through, tower dives as well. We love to see it. Now, something else I love to see is more from the fans. Of course, we're filming time, and you guys are going to help us. Let's look at your pets again. Let's distract you from the fact that the game hasn't been started by me pressing a button. I'm holding the game hostage. Screw you all, because we're looking at Max's dogs.
We need names. We need captions.
We do need.
If like, there's one thing I was going to take away from this. One, cute dogs. Two, where are the names? We need names.
Yeah, and you know, little arrows. Everyone's like, oh, this is an easy one to get on from the fans today. I'm just going to put up a picture with no context. But look, I feel like they're the kind of dogs that could definitely cuddle up to one another, turn into like a donut, and then you could maybe order them on Menulog. What do you reckon, Skinny? Would you order that?
I mean, I would, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that'd be a sweet, tasty treat. You know, for my mental at least, more so than anything, right? But I feel like, you know, if we're going to give some dogs some names, I feel like that's a Bill and Ben right there.
Ah, Bill and Ben,
Buddy and
Flower Pot
Toby.
Labs. Buddy and Toby? Yeah, that works. Airbud, though, you know, pretty good on the sticks himself, pretty cracked with it.
The thing is, with these dogs, is they take up, I promise you, you have to be a contortionist to sleep with these dogs in the bed. Like, they take up way too much real estate.
Yeah, it's like, I've got, you know, Pico the Beagle, and she takes up so much of the bed just with her little old legs, and these things are probably about twice the size, and there's two of them. So maybe they're going to be forced to sleep off the bed. I think, fortunately for Max, I'm looking there, he's got a double. I'm guessing it for himself. Does he have a partner?
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's an issue, right? You got 4 people sleeping in the bed.
It's cuddly, it's comfy.
No shot, that fit. There's just someone's on the couch.
I was going to say, you couldn't have it like that, especially up here in Sydney, to be way too hot. You're waiting for LCO to start.
True.
Giddy, is the cat in the shower or just wet outside the shower, wanting to get back in? Like, that's the question.
Looks like it's inside the shower, hey.
So why have you confined me to this wet space?
Kitty's just like, shut up, I'm doing it for the grand. Look cute.
Yeah.
Smile real quick.
And it's just like, let me out. I'm cold and wet. Now, looks like, so it was bath time. Is Kitty around to tell us the name of her pet? Because she also did not drop the name in. She is here. Is it
Guys?
you with us? Hello.
Hello.
Hey, so I actually have a lore behind this photo. So me and my mum, we saw those like cute paw paintings where the cats like put their little paws on the canvas. I wanted to do that, so we put a little bit of blue paint on her paw, which explains the bluish tinted paw. And it didn't work. She kind of just walked into my PC room and it left a little trail of paws. So we kind of had to wash her up, and this is my best photo and favorite photo of my cat, and her name is Chobi.
Was she really trying? Oh, Chobi. Yeah, that's right. You've told us that before. Was she trying to get out of the shower, or was she just sort of sitting there being like, "Mum, please"?
Well, I think she definitely wanted to be out of the shower, but, you know, also a bit of mum, please let me out. You know, I did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Justice for Chobi.
I didn't ask to have paint on my feet. That's exactly what it's saying. Now, do we have any more lined up here as well? I think we'll see in just a moment. Now, looks like we do. We got.
Here we go.
Here we go. Rusty having a look at him.
Who's that cutie?
Good old Scratch. He's so happy.
This is Bailey, one of my actually the only female border collie we currently have. The rest we've got bullheads everywhere else.
What are the bullheads' names?
Billy and Bo. We have a naming scheme. I'll run you through it. Okay, we have Bo, Bob, Bailey, Billy, and then we had Marley because we had Bob. So that was the one exception. You can do the math. Those are the dog's names.
Bees.
I was just going to say, like,
bees.
are you just exhausting? You just like hot click on Google, just type in bee names. You're just
don't
going
even
down
think-
the list.
That's
Name
essentially it.
generator.
Look,
Yeah,
I
name generator,
heard
straight away.
we're hopefully not too far away. Now, to save you guys' voices, of course, Kitty, I'm going to ask you. You haven't had your say yet. After seeing the draft there, did you see anything interesting that sort of tickled your fancy?
I already mentioned this in our chat, but I'm actually really excited to see the Yuumi and Tahm Kench once again in the LCO.
Yeah.
But as a support main, I also play Yuumi. It might seem that Yuumi is probably the best scaling enchanter into this Tahm Kench because, you know, it's just a free scale, right?
Yeah.
But I actually think after Tahm Kench has been changed, where his like little jump thing has been changed to a shorter cooldown on his W, this Yuumi can actually die really, really easily. So I actually don't really like the Yuumi Tahm Kench matchup as much as before.
Okay.
We'll see what Draku can do for this game, but Yuumi currently has a 0% win rate against Tahm Kench in Split 1 so far. So hopefully things will turn around and Yumi gets a win.
Hopefully indeed. Now, I've been told you and I are both barred from the rift, so we have to sort of disappear before we jump on into the game.
Beautiful.
We're in.
Better late than never. This is the LCO. This is the final game of the night. As we are amongst the chaos, which is super weak. Chiefs taking on Kanga Esports to guide us into the closing stages of this one. I do believe you have another coaching interview lined up, so let's bring in Kuden from the side of Chiefs.
Yo, sir.
How are you, Kuden? I have to ask, well through this split now, at least halfway, what have you made of the level of competition in the league so far?
I think host is the most competitive region in the world, and our plan is to win worlds and make host a major region. Vindication for everyone.
Aim for the stars, aim for the stars. So, guaranteed worlds, what are we thinking about our chances to get to MSI at least?
That's already a given. Well, they won't make us a major region unless we win worlds. Yeah, we've got to win worlds.
So we out here just winning
no one
both?
cares about MSI. Yeah, winning MSI for sure.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to you winning this game today, and I wish you boys the best of luck going forward.
The maestro presses on.
Shout out to Kuden and his microwave that was synchronized with every word that he spoke in the background. It's a very early aggressive trade down here, Skimmy. Very aggressive trade. One thing we have to highlight is that Lionel has gone for Hail of Blades on his Tahm Kench, so just auto attacks en masse. It is crazy for early trading. Level 1, 2, the value is insane. Lived also, speaking of value, has the waves stacked up nicely. If Topwin's not able to auto attack, then he is losing, because you want to be able to trade in minion waves to last hit them. But there you go, first example of what can happen from Machoggers. But that bot trade, I didn't get to see exactly how it started, but the fact that Lionel was just auto-attacking in range made me think he started W for the cheese. I'm not sure though. They got the exhaust and the barrier out either way.
That's good pressure. Early days into the spot lane. Good pressure elsewhere, also in topside as you saw. And it's going to continue at that rate. Corrupting potions are all gone. Same to be said of the Biscuit or Tapoon, but it's not going to stop them from still burning summoners. Respect being shown. Double flash gone. And back to top lane we go again. Very close to lethal.
Yeah, how quickly that lane swung. Look at the wave as well. That's Topwin winning through a cannon wave with like 5 range minions behind it. That's the tower. Yeah, there we go. Look at that wave. That basically means the teleport has to be forced by Lived here. Arthur also playing towards the top side of the map. So while the flash has been used, he's on the correct side of the map to help Topwin, and it means that you can almost force this to be a freeze, potentially set up a teleport gank, into gank threat, but Lived already had vision set up. I think Topwin wants to just base and teleport himself.
Yeah, no doubt he wants to stay around here much longer, right? The fact that Liv can just come back into this one, fully charge up the Corrupting Potion, and take trades like this.
Oh.
The long con, this is the reason. I don't mind taking these trades. The passive is slowly keeping me healthy, around about 30%. Question is, how long does Arthur wait?
Tries to hit that cheeky Phantom Keg, not going to be seen, so Topwin has Lionel coming up here, by the way. Level 2 Tahm Kench will be spotted. But Topwin playing like he doesn't care. And Liv gets a free tell, I think it's fair to say. If your Cho'Gath doesn't back away when the Tahm Kench is spotted, something's up. They're just going to push this wave and try and clear it for the reset. And we are just going to spend a little bit of time looking at top lane here real quick. Topwin's going to cash that one in. One big thing here, right? Not just a CS lead for the Cho'Gath, but reset timings only bottom.
Yeah, Bray's going to be in trouble. He doesn't have support. They are going to punish the Aphelios. Says summoners go out nice and early. A flash is there. They need one shield. Draku turns around, hits him with the passive, but he can't convert the shield across, and that's first blood.
That was 2 seconds off barrier being back. Lean on mid.
Great roam.
Okay, they're just doing it.
Roam. Oh, it's a 1-for-1 though.
I mean, you still take that. This Tahm Kench is everywhere on the map. This is the one thing, Skibby, that we said we wanted to see more of from Kanga. We're finally getting a lot more proactivity. It looks like they're having a fun game of League as well. And they're ahead in gold right now. The main point I wanted to make about top lane is it wasn't a teleport with Sheen spike for Liv, so he actually wants to get another base off soon probably on that spike timing. But damn, this is a different Kanga to what we're used to seeing.
Certainly is. Really good start for them. From the roams of the Time Kench to the active trades in the lanes to forcing out summoners to connecting with kills. A gold lead now, which you can only hope that Kanga can sustain.
The fact that mid was a trade, I think it's in the end, it's both mid laners are tier stacking champions. I don't think they're too worried. 1-for-1 you're just happy with. Kind of equalize the lane. If Tally's able to almost get that solo basically in that 1v1, I mean something's gone a little bit awry there. Or it was just an incredibly hard force from Fido. Either way, speaking of force, he's going to be doing that with priority presently.
Look at that, the lockdown, just one bit of poison damage and the Twin Fang has come out like rapid fire. You know what I'm excited for though? I mean, you know how much we talk about how strong a Corki can be level 16 and how you don't want to face check it and so on and so on. I tell you what, a Pixel Brush and a River, a Cassiopeia level 16 setting in it too, out of vision, that's just as terrifying.
Yeah, it certainly is. Fog of War is going to be a very useful tool. Only level 6 for the bottom play. This is kind of what we spoke about in draft, right? Tahm Kench goes in,
Great
Pirate
dive.
gets disabled.
Oh, just evades the Chompers, does not matter. Stormbringer comes across, there's the Cannon Barrage, exactly what we wanted, and exactly what Kanga gave us. Fantastic double kill.
Yeah, that is a free double, easy dive from Only, working with Lionel and Limas. That's going to be plates in bottom lane as well for the Jinx, who has a free time. Tahm Kench able to leave lane, just go for a Wonder. They're going to choose to go for the Drake. They already have vision set up. And suddenly Kanga at 2,000 gold ahead. 7 minutes into the game. Top just a scaling lane, and if that's the case, Gangplank has an ultimate that a Cho'Gath can't match. This is just winning, Skippy.
And it really is that easy though, isn't it, right? You know, you disable the structure, you guarantee the stun, the knockup from the Tahm, the stun to follow from the Bear Claws, and the assistance that you just can't flash away from the Cannon Barrage.
They're going for a dive here. Look at Tahm Kench though.
He's here, he doesn't have level 6, there's no Devour, there's no protection, there's a rocket! That was very, very close. One more order from the tower would have been enough. It's not gonna happen.
Really well timed by the Chiefs also. Lived was about 5 seconds away from having his flashback. Gangplank rather was 5 seconds away from having that flashback, so that could have been enough to perhaps get him to the Tahm Kench.
Arthur.
Only just going to menacingly walk.
Being locked in place, the CC chain, this time it's a great flash. The Crescent Guard, the knockback, the aggro switching on towards the Tahm Kench, who also has the...
The mana. Oh. Mana. Herald going to be secured though. I mean, that was good from Kanga, right, to try and make the play onto Arthur. He has to flash and ult. No one dying in the end means it was just going to be a trade overall. I still think the biggest winner of this has been Limas. Up until this exact moment where Topoon's going to have a crack. Topoon no ult. Just runs him down. Oh, okay, we've lost Skibby. Look at me, I'm the captain now. Limas in a whole lot of trouble here. He's just going to be taken down. If the W misses there from the Jinx, no shot that he's going to be able to walk away. And quite simply, the Cho'Gath comes forward, hits him with the E-auto attack, and that's all she wrote. Map flipped as well by the side of Chief, so while the Herald was on the card, that's the reason they're going to be able to secure that one. Does mean they're going to be walking towards top lane, however, and Lionel has decided he is the team's support. Arthur spotted looking to try and prevent this one from being a dive, but there's 4 people here with a volley bear that's almost got his ultimate up and ready. Yumi going to pop the ult, but not going to be able to keep them away from the dive here. Arthur gets in. They're actually weathering this one, but still the 2 carries go down, and it's just a little Dragku left standing. While the Cho'Gath, as you can see, threatening down in bottom lane at the exact same time. They're not going to be able to get Dragku.
Well, hi Rusty.
Hey.
I'm here for
You're my
Skinny.
color caster now?
Yeah, well, I'm just here. I don't know what I am
Welcome,
because I can't do play-by-play, but I do have some things to say about this game. So I actually really like Kanga's drop, especially that dive bot. They do have the Volley Bear ult, which they utilize really well. And we actually see Barrier and the Heal Exhaust coming out of Chiefs' bot lane. having no intention of any kill threat on Kanga. So I actually really enjoyed that dive, and I really like seeing Lionel being more proactive around the map. It's exactly what you wanted to see, Rusty.
Yeah, I feel like that's exactly what we all wanted to see from Kanga in general. They've been quite passive, and I think we've been having conversations about this off-air, Kitty, about wanting to see more teams be, in general, more proactive when they should be. Like if you draft tanks right, you want to be able to actually use the tanks to play effectively around the map. So, big positive.
I think this is the first time I've actually seen Raze 0-3-0. So Kanga have really focused down the ABC of Chiefs.
Do you think that's something that Arthur could have stopped, though?
I think Arthur could have stopped it because you do know that Gangplank ult is online. I don't know if they spotted him on vision. I wasn't really watching that for the vision, but definitely could have been prevented. I believe Raze had barrier when he died, so it could have been a little turnaround if Arthur was there.
Yeah, he had barrier. Honestly, it's so hard to tell because you got the small. I think it was 1 second after. Like it was super close. Yeah, and that was also forced at like level 1, wasn't it as well? So the Tahm Kench cheese tech. Also, speaking of that, I was going to ask you about this because I run this on Tahm Kench. I also run this on
Hail
Braum.
of Blade?
But Hail of Blades, yeah. Talk me through it.
I actually see Hail of Blade quite often on Tahm Kench. You know, you do, if you, I don't know who mentioned it. I think once you get that slow from that Q, it is a guaranteed W coming out of the Tahm Kench. You can knock up either the Aphelios or the Yuumi. The only bad thing about Chiefs' bot lane is they're so immobile. So, you know, once you connect the W, you start looking with that Hail of Blade and it's just a guaranteed kill. Or even a flash burn, you know?
Yeah, even just a summoner, it's kind of what you want to achieve from it, because the summoner advantage means that the Tahm Kench's job, because like you were saying actually before we got into this, it's very easy to make the plays with Tahm Kench now with the W cooldown being so low. Flash going to be used there by Raze as well, just quietly. The 0-3 and pressured.
And something I'm quite puzzled about is Raze didn't take cleanse against a Volibear, you know, Tahm Kench stun, Jinx traps, even Cassio ult. So I would have liked Raze taking the cleanse instead, because you did see that Raze's flash got put on cooldown again. He actually doesn't have that much peel coming out of Chiefs. I mean, Xin Zhao can provide the peel, but I'm assuming that he will be the main initiator for Chiefs.
It's got to be a rough feeling as well for Raze to even want to go the cleanse, because it's not like a big Ash arrow coming at you. Like it is kind of incidental or like dodgeable stuns, if that makes sense. So maybe even a Mikhail's from the Yuumi. We'll have to find out. As I think we have Skimmy back.
Test 1, 2. We'll be back in the action.
Hopefully the viewers could hear that, because I could hear you perfectly fine.
Well, that's fantastic. I
don't know if Kitty's still here, Skimmy, but big thank you to her for coming in and saving the day.
Huge thank you. Double big brains, double color casters.
Yeah, and actually, like, no action happened, so I'm super glad that it was like, we got to just break down the game state.
Oh, it's so perfect. The joys of working from home, hey?
Yeah, mind you, as you disconnected, I'm sitting here in team fight. Speaking
of... here we go. Right back into the action. No time to ponder that for much longer. Lionel going to pick up the kill. And that means now that Tahm Kench's got 2 kills to his name as Volibear. He put in some work.
Yeah, a lot of the fights have been happening around the Volibear ultimate. I think that, like, the one thing that stands out to me is that Volley was chosen while Hecarim was available, and I think with Tahm Kench Volley, they wanted it to be a combo. There was very clear intent they were going to look to be super aggressive and play for dives. And so far, they had one strat. They've played the one strat out brilliantly. It is only 1,000 gold as a lead, though, Skimmy.
Yeah, very fragile at this stage of the game, right? And it begs the question, once again, you know, Kanga with a lead. How can they retain it? What can they do with it? But for the side of Chiefs, how do they get themselves back into the driving seat? Because certainly that combo, which you highlighted, is putting in all the work. 5-0 between the two of them.
And this is the part that, like, we all said we wanted to see more from. So it's really rewarding. It's very exciting to see this. Remember that Kanga is the team that can somehow beat Chiefs and lose to everyone else. So the potential in the players is still definitely there, and it's just very refreshing to see this happening. And it's not coming through Chungy getting 100 solo kills on Ahri. This is actually just, like, controlling the map and putting up a fight against the Chiefs. Which to me is it's a conversation in itself, Skimmy, that I think we can address at a later date. But Arthur very quiet when he plays League.
Yeah, definitely farm-centric has been the mantra. I wonder if we'll get a chance to talk about it, but I have to ask, what have I missed and how is Ray 0-4?
I mean, he's just been killed away. It's funny. All that happens, right, is time catch goes, Volibear disables the turret. You thought that happened one spot, it just continued to happen. They flipped the map to top lane, it happened again. It happened in mid. They have decided that Raze is the enemy, and they put all of their emphasis towards him at all times. He still doesn't have his mythic, by the way, so like, yes, the Chiefs are only one now, 2,000 behind in gold, but sorely lacking, it feels like, is the AD carrier.
Big focus onto him. Why not, right? Certainly of all the players, all the prestige, would be a good place to lock down and prevent any major impact being found. That being said, though, we are still looking at these two Titan mid lane champs as to what they can do. Don't forget, obviously, what the Corki can bring to the table as well. They want to try and keep that gold lead as close as possible right now. Taking the turret will help. BNL still on the roam.
Still on the roam, Skimmy. He's actually still on the roam.
He just hasn't stopped, has he?
How good is it? How good is him on Tahm Kench right now compared to some of the previous games that we've seen? You want to see more noise from him, right? You want to see it be successful. I think the fact that their comp is built around their support and their jungler early just makes this so much easier. But he was level 2 roaming without his jungler, right? Like, he's just been getting it done. I can't compliment him enough for improvement from day to day.
Sure.
Ray's going to clear this wave though, so no shot they're diving. Just don't have vision. And Raze is also very vigilant at this point, right? Like, there's just absolutely no chance he wants to be dove a 7th time in a row.
He's taking no risks. He's straight away gone from that lane back to base, and there's the picture-in-picture. It's going to be a TP back to lane to bring in this package. A Drake a piece so far, playing for an Ocean Soul. Everybody grouping up together. Will be a big 5v5.
Herald and package at the same time. Gangplank Kegs poised to be in the area. Toppin and Lived also being here. I mean, you're right, it's just going to be a big 5v5. Dragon is not actually being looked at yet, so this package starts to lose value as time progresses, unless an angle presents itself. Remember that Yuumi is with the Corki. So increased damage on a level 11 Corki with those rockets and the package. But if the Corki ints, they int together.
they hold
legitimately,
hands.
It's a 2-for-1 special for Kanga if Kali makes a mistake.
Boxing Day came early this year. Ultimately, Kanga show resilience, show discipline, and wait things out. It gets utilized to pick up the Drake. Now there's the cannon barrage. Can they prevent Chiefs from disengaging away? Well, there's one. They've removed away Arthur. The jungler is dead. They're going to find a second. There's Tapoon. Big bruises, big initiators. Taken away from the side of Chiefs. Now they've got squishy members left. They're looking for the carries. Fido flashing forward with the petrifying gaze. Beray's now going in for the hero play. 1v5 with the red and whites. If he wasn't 0-4, maybe that would have worked, but Lemurs takes him down. And they're going to trade 1 for 3.
I mean, Raze puts in a hero's work there, but like, it's not going to be enough to win an outright team fight. It is just the one item of Philios. Give him 2 more items and watch him do that again, see what happens. Let the magic work. The Kanga are the ones who win that team fight overall. They're the ones who have a massive advantage on the map right now. That 2,000 gold stretches to 3. The one downfall is that they don't get to look at the Drake. Tally's actually going to try and cut him off with the package. It means they walk just a slightly longer way, however. The strength of the Gangplank ultimate, slowing them for this long, means that Volley's able to get around, Tahm Kench able to get in. And I think just the fact that that package was running out means that Tally can't place it perfectly. The follow through from Fido here, if there's a stun, it's a free kill, sure, but that's not going to be something they fall for. Barrier used by Raze, and Draku lucky that he's able to cover that much distance to get to the Corki.
Safety of the Yuumi, so fragile once dislodged. But as you say, very, very lucky to jump away to safety. Fido, let's respect this, because Chiefs certainly had an army rotating and roaming. It's now a 4K lead at the 20-minute mark. And I don't know what it is with Kanga, but they just seem to be so much stronger up against the top teams.
For some reason. It's like, maybe that's a bad analogy, but like playing League of Legends in Platinum versus playing League of Legends in Master is very different. Because you actually know what your opponents are going to do, if that makes sense.
I get you, yeah.
It's a rough analogy, but you get my point. Perhaps the better teams are more predictable. They're just harder to beat because they're better teams. But that predictability is working in Kanga's favor.
Yeah, Tani trying to run away from this one. He's hit the Valkyrie, but you can't go much further. Tapoon jumps in with a TP to try and back him up, but his fallen mid laner can't do much to answer back now. Fido goes gold. Will Kanga protect him? No, they will not. Mid lane is removed. Raze jumps in now. Oh. He's got the white and the green. He's sniping from afar. He can't kill confirm, but Arthur can. The Gale Force is there.
Oh, live.
And Zin with a Yumi. You're just not running away.
There's no escape from that one. Kanga just a little bit too far this time around. They think they have an angle. The angle backfires within seconds. Chiefs get the team fight. The reinforcements are just close enough. They're now able to push forward into the Baron. And any kind of lead that Kanga thought they had, Skimmy, is completely gone. As you're seeing, it was a team effort, right? Everyone contributed their parts. Raze assassinates Limas. We'll see it in the replay as well. Tally's the first person they initially attempt to go on here. He buffers the W with the stun. He's always going to fall down here, but the silence that comes through from the teleporting Cho'Gath. Fido gets stuck into a corner, and there's just no opportunity to actually execute anyone else. Realistically, you want to get that Corki and run right away, right? That's your kill, that's your one and done, but they're stuck.
And Zen W, though, literally on the very edge, and Limas was potentially out scot-free. Certainly as close as it gets. But that's the fight Chiefs have been hunting for all game long. That's the difference maker. That's the bridge closer. As we go back to live and back to team fighting once again. Zin with a cat on his head, locks you in place. That is the final chapter of this skirmish. Chiefs will make it another 5v4.
Okay, Arthur.
Hang on a minute though, Fido.
Honestly, I don't know what just happened. It looked like he pressed S out of the bush and died. Like if you watch that back, swear to God, he just presses S for like 3 seconds and thinks about it. Maybe he was writing timers of flashes in chat.
Good point.
And then just face checks and dies. Fair play to Fido though.
Here's a minute. Oh, look at that. The rotation of Cho'Gath. Where are you going, Lift? Furiously pinging down bot side turret. Where is he? The wave was crashing. Surely they just take down a 4-1 split, but it's not to be the case.
Look at all the vision that the Chiefs have in the red side jungle of Kanga as well. It's just littered with wards. They'll be able to clear that control on the way through if they want as well. Dragon's free for him on the disengage. Because they're able to use the Baron, get kills, get turrets. Nice attempt. Not going to be enough. That's 3 Drakes.
Well, what a huge flip of tempo, more so than anything, right? The fact that Kanga had such a strong start, but the Baron especially has put in significant work to bridge the gap, to give them this gold lead, to now put them in the driving seat, and to give them that second win condition also with an Ocean Soul.
Fido, I think, just sees the Baron buff on those minions. Skippy was like, nah, I'm out. No shot.
Not keen.
Just going to disengage. No outer turret to be seen for him. He's a little bit too fast on their reset as well. And again, look at the red side vision that they've got. Now note that they're free to move to the enemy blue side with no contest. Kanga's going to spend more time clearing that than they are preparing for anything else. But it's unfortunate for Kanga because it was going so well, but they're just a little bit too far. That one dive, just too much of a force. Teleport's ready. Team nearby. Perhaps it was vision. Perhaps it was just decision making in the mid game, but then it's suddenly gone. Chiefs, the caliber of team they are. And maybe a 2-5 Aphelios, Skippy, but that is a 2-5 Aphelios that somehow has a shutdown. That's how much money he's still getting.
He always finds a way, doesn't he, Raze? Doesn't matter what his KDA is looking like, because the team as a whole are putting in work. Fido nearly looked like he was about to be called out there by the Yumi ultimate, but a Devour gets used in clutch timing there. We'll lose their top tier 2. they're holding on.
I guess the one thing that I'd say so far is I haven't really seen anything from Liv. He's really just existed. The ultimate use at the Drake was fine, but Topin's just showing up to these fights, right? He's just grouping at these objectives. And then he's legitimately just a tank standing in front of his team doing his job. This was the one part of the composition during the draft phase I said that I wanted to see from the Chiefs roster to round it out. I said Sion or Ornn, but Cho'Gath does it. Cho'Gath does it very well.
Certainly does. Sunfire, Thornmail, and a Force of Nature soon to go as well. All the resistances in the world soon will be an immovable object. Dinosaur like no other. Even though it is mechanical, I like that skin. It's my favorite one, even if it has been out for a hot minute.
Makes me know what these skins are as well.
That's true.
Shout out Black Frost.
It's still
Yeah,
Malphite.
Hextech looking.
It's still Malphite. There's no way that's Sion, man. Honestly, artists are trolling.
I could tell it was Sion by the hole in his chest. And that's what I feel left with as well, thinking that was Malphite until the last second. Ridiculous.
Oh, that's why we're not artists.
That's true. You haven't seen my art, trust me, you don't want to. You'd have to actually, I would have to pay you to look at my art.
We saw Max, right? He had arms coming out of his neck.
The old neck arms.
Yeah. Don't worry, Mac. Not much better myself. Still stick figures here.
Just a game of clearing waves at this point as well. With a Gangplank, it's very difficult to push without Baron. With the Jinx as well, very difficult to push without a Baron buff. But speak of the Baron, and it'll be here in 20 seconds. And I don't see any worlds where Kanga can contest it. I think the contest has to be for the Drake. And you can see the way Kanga are poised right now. It might even just be control mid, set up for the Drake.
Oh, the fight is going to break out before that even is an option to consider. It's going to be a split fight. They're going to try and assassinate Outlive. The spike auto attacks are enough. A lone Cassiopeia. Snake's wiped from the game. Volibear jumps in, trying to remove Raze. Raze! Oh, what a heal! The barrier is clutched. The Yuumi is great. And the Chiefs stand strong together.
Yeah, just a big force here by Kanga. They try and get it done. Top in tanking turret. He'll be okay.
He wants more though. He's sick of the disrespect. He's sick of how close this game was.
That's a Yuumi main.
That's a Yuumi main. Thread the needle. The prowling projectile. It's found its mark. And this game at a 28-minute mark is going to be absolutely smashed on its head. The Nexus turrets are gone. Kanga devastated. Chiefs relieved. Day 2 done.
And it was a close game until it wasn't. That's genuinely just the way it went. Kanga looking very good. Early dives bot lane, early movements as well from Lionel. They got it done. You could see Raze obviously not happy with that game. Can't blame him, he got dove constantly. They, even at the very end, Skimmy only said, I will be fighting at Raze. I know the game's ending, but I'm going to try and kill him.
I do feel like, though, it goes back to the pre-game interview with Kitty, right? What's more scary, Volibear and Tom Kench diving you? Are you walking across that bridge where there's 100 spiders? Because quite honestly, you're probably more terrified of that in-game performance. It didn't start off so hot, but he brought it back, Mac. And that is why this is a team with the most experience, with the most championships, with the most hype around them.
Well, that's it, right? And of course, the other factor, which I don't remember if you guys mentioned, but I always forget about it in my games when Choza picked as well, is it has a better smite, you know, in that ultimate too.
Yep.
So you just have that objective control. It just makes it that much harder for the junglers to come and smite steal it as well. So, you know, a factor that didn't really play that much of a difference. Of course, they did get some Baron action in there, but it wasn't really that contested. Although, look, let's talk about the entire game. For a lot of it, Kanga were in front. I feel like this is their best performance yet. Look, they've got a couple of Ws, but the fact that they kept it so damn competitive, so damn scary, I thought that they might have had it. But again, Chiefs, they just are that class above, you know, always seeming to rotate when it was necessary, and they never seem to feel the pressure. I feel like at this point, like the 19-minute mark is where you sort of see the largest leads sort of occur. I think it was like 3-4K at this point, and then it just sort of all started to turn around. There was that point where they overextended here onto Tally. You mentioned it during the cast as well, Rusty. They committed. What they needed to do at this given point was just get the hell out of Dodge, get the hell out of there. But it's a split decision. You know, Lemus and Liv were like, oh, we probably don't want to be here. And then they get baited back in to help the ones that stayed. And then it just turns into a lot of little picks coming through, scattered as well, staggered. And you hate to see that if you are a Kangaroo or a Kanga fan.
Yeah, also, just watching that replay again this time, Limas just wasn't there. And you have a 1 in 5 Aphelios versus a Fed Jinx. Which one would you actually want to be at the fight? Like, if the Chiefs are looking at that saying it's a 4v4, it's free, right? They're actually taking fights that are quite bad for them. And again, that was just a big force by Kanga, like you highlight. So unfortunately for them, their lead dissipates in a single moment.
That's what it feels like to me. They lost the game, right? They lose that team fight. That then means they're down for the respawn time. As this translates into a Baron. Chiefs just flipped the game right there. Just look how much gold they got from that Baron. They were down 4k. Coming out of that Baron buff, they were up 2. So huge swing of tempo.
Can we point out that, have you ever seen a Yuumi do that much damage? Is this inflated? What's going on there?
Yuumi?
Yeah.
Yeah, Yumi's
Max, you need to see AP
Yuumi is
absolutely.
no, we don't need to see it.
Yes,
no, we
give
don't.
us AP Yuumi. Give us a Luden's Yuumi.
No,
and it
there's
does
no
the
shot.
most damage in the game.
Okay,
It shouldn't exist.
I'm used to seeing, you know, like the 4Ks, the 3Ks, sort of like Yuumi just sitting there, just like pumping out the healing. But that was decent. Man was everywhere. I think he had about a 90% KP as well. So really just dancing around. And especially if you have a look closer in the last fight, I think you noticed it, Skimmy. Draku was just always on the right person at the right time and just right at the front, right up in the action. So really just having a huge game for himself. But look, of course, the Corky there as well. That clutch package to get one of the Ocean Drakes when it first came in, but then there was never really a soul in contention. I feel like the game didn't really go that long, right?
Yeah. You know what I will say towards Dragku playing the Yuumi is it was a good example of how to play Yuumi and to not be second screening while watching a TV show or something, right? He was constantly hopping around to the correct targets. He was actually on the Cho'Gath in that last fight, hopped off, moved to the Corky, and was super clutch jumping over to Raze to keep him alive. So it was actually really well played by him.
Yeah, man was all over the place. Now let's bring Kitty back into the conversation. Kitty, did you enjoy the game?
I really liked watching that game, especially from Draku's Yuumi was popping off, and he definitely knew how to pilot that champion. Someone else who knows how to pilot their champion is Arthur, so let's drag him in for the interview. Hello Arthur, congrats on your win. So let's talk about your champion, Xin Zhao. It currently has the highest presence in competitive League of Legends, currently being 82% pick ban rate globally, I believe. So what makes Xin Zhao so good in this patch?
Well, the Xin Zhao is like kind of strong Sejuani, like AD Sejuani, which is like boring and strong and no skills. Just if you press ulti, you doesn't get any damage from where you ulting in like 5 seconds, which is like so broken. Yeah, that's why I think Xin Zhao is most picked in this patch.
You know, champions that go immune are pretty broken. We see you playing some of that Gwen, some of that Xin Zhao in solo queue as well. But let's talk about tomorrow. So you guys are going against Peace. Who do you think is going to be the player to look out for?
Sorry.
So I said, so who do you think is going to be the strongest player coming out of Peace tomorrow?
Definitely not Raze entirely. This guy is in line phase again, so I sadly lost 3 camps again. Where it happens a lot on scrim, so I don't mind that, but well, I hope this guy's popping off tomorrow and doesn't lose 3 camps again.
Hopefully they do pop off tomorrow. Well, you guys, hopefully everything goes smoothly and you don't walk into any spiderwebs in Brisbane, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, he was bang on the money. Who's going to be the strongest player for Peace? Definitely not Raze and Tally. It's correct. It is true. It's just true. So look, he's got that going. He loves to just rub it in, doesn't he? And the fact he did it with just a blank face, he's like, yeah, definitely not Raze and Tally. And Tally's just in the background like this, just chilling, having a great time. So big dub achieved there, and still only with that 1 L on the board. So stay neck and neck with Peace, and again, tomorrow, that may all just change. But look, let's talk about the player of the game. Skimmy, do you have any idea of who you'd give it to?
Hard to say because I wasn't even there for half the game, right? PC just decided to just break. So maybe from what I saw, the fact that like Raze came back from 0-4 to absolutely popping off, I'm not sure.
Okay, well, you're not sure, so let me tell you. The player of the game was the big man in the bot lane. It was Dragku. Look at him go, doing big old work there on the old Yuumi. And of course, it is a damn good time for him. The fact that he's playing Yuumi and he's got 18% of the damage share is actually cracked. 40 wards placed. I think he's 5 wards, vision score total of 66. So big game from him in terms of the vision, in terms of being all over the map, and always in the right position as well. So 13 of the kills he was a part of as well, so 81% KP. That is a huge effort, Rusty.
Yeah, 18% is really high. So for example, I think it was Beats' Lux, the game where he popped off. I think it was 15%
Yeah,
of damage.
I
So
think you're right.
that's a really high amount if that is in fact that 18% damage Yuumi. So full respect to him. I mean, he was hitting buttons off cooldown, even with the rough laning phase.
We also got another stat from Statsman, 20.8 seconds of ulti crowd control from him that game as well. So that's just with the Yuumi ult. So really just dishing out a lot of work. So big effort from him and a big W there. Now, that's the player of the game, and that's that game out of the way. So all games done. But of course, that means we've got to start to talk about what the play of the day was. Now, any takers here?
What are the games again?
Play
It's been a
of
long
the
one.
day.
It's been a long day.
It's me
Yeah.
every time.
I reckon it's a Mammoth play where it's like, you know, the flanking Veigar, the flanking Lulu into this a Zeri one-shot triple kill blinder.
Okay, well, guess what, Skimmy? You've actually banged it out of the park. I think that's
It
the
is?
exact one we're
Wow.
looking at.
Oh.
The voice triple, Mammoth up against Gravitas, and him just dancing around and farming up a storm here on the Zeri. So let's look at it back. Let's see what he's doing. Is this the old one where he starts to space glide around the place?
That was the dragon.
Oh,
one
here
at
comes the
bottom,
Veigar! Woo!
Yeah, look at him go. Okay, so big cage coming through, and then it's just voice, look, untouched, like a little bit of shield at the top as well, and just dishing out so much
That was a nice dash.
damage. Great dash, great use of his abilities, but look at the spacing the whole time as well. Never putting himself in a position where he's really in danger, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, he was
Got
trying
blown
his
away by
best to...
Gravis.
True. I mean, he's been auto-spaced by the enemy team as well, hasn't he?
A bit of that.
I was going to say the dragon fight might have been a better voice-specific highlight. This feels like more of a team highlight from their side, but yeah, he's still...
But when you say spaced by the Gragas, what if Voice was, you know, just 10 steps ahead, purposely standing there, knew that the knockback was going to happen that far, just wanted to get away, get out of dodge, get out of danger. So Voice, look at that for this crazy. It wasn't just the triple, it was his thought process going into that. And production knew that, and they picked that as the play of the day because it was a banger, it was a cracker. Now, of course, we've got a few more things to touch on before we finish off the day, and that, of course, is going to be the standings. I don't think there's been too much of a shift today because there wasn't any upsets. I feel like if we did have an upset, we would have seen something happen. Okay, so Mammoth, they've climbed up to 5th, just dragging out that distance a little further, and they'll be tied up with Direwolves now. But of course, Order with that L means that Pentanet and Order are no longer tied for that 3rd place. So we're seeing a little bit more separation, and finally tomorrow we may have a completely 1 to 8 looking leaderboard. No ties anywhere because Peace and Chiefs are going toe to toe, and the only one that could maybe hang around is Direwolves and Mammoths. So who knows? Anyway, Kitty, you didn't really get to touch on this at the start of the day. Anything you want to say about the leaderboard here?
So when I was interviewing Ross from Dials, he actually said that Mammoth and Gravitas could be a potential contender for the playoff cutoff, which is 5th place. And now we actually see Mammoth being tied with Dials. So we're actually going to see like them duke it out for 5th place.
Duke it out indeed. Now, let's have a look at what games we are going to be having a look at here on the Wednesday of the 2nd Super Week here on the LCO. So, there you have it. Mammoth and Direwolves not going to be tied up the end of tomorrow because they're playing to kick things off at 6 p.m. Then following it at 7 p.m, Pentanet up against Order. maybe there is a chance Order can catch up if they have a great day at the office. So we'll see how that one goes. We'll hold our horses for the moment. 8 p.m. Chiefs and Peace. Of course, game of the day for me and game of the day for a lot of people out there because again, one of them is going to be the only team that is 11-1. The other will be 10-2. So bit of separation finally coming through in the ladder. And then 9 p.m. Gravitas and Kanga. Another one which could be a very interesting game. Kanga played great today. Gravitas have been playing better for the last couple of days. So look, Rusty, tell me which one of these is going to be the most interesting because they're all pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, tomorrow's actually an absolute
Stacked.
banger day. I mean, which one's most interesting? I think it's obviously Game 3, but every single game has its own narrative. I think there's a lot of reasons to be excited for the entire day from top to toe, including the secret guest.
Ooh.
The secret guest
Is
that
it
I
a
think
secret
was,
or is it announced?
was
If it's
announced
announced, that's
earlier
fine.
today.
It's a secret.
But we'll call it a secret guest. And if you guys haven't followed the Twitter, I think it's a perfect time for you to go follow the Twitter and see who's on tomorrow instead of Rusty. That's not going to be him. Now, look, let's talk about you guys again because you guys at home, you're the soul. You're the soul of this broadcast, all right? You're the ones that keep us going. You're the one we do it for you, and you send us content too. That gets me going. So let's have a look at a few more doggy dogs, catty cats, and birdie birds, which we've seen all damn night. Hey, that's not your dog. Avril, that's my dog, not yours. Are you? I'm gonna bang on his door after this. He's bloody trying to steal my puppy. Okay, Pico, don't listen to this strange man in our house.
What do we call that, Mac?
Don't go with him.
You know how people catfish, right? And we'll use somebody else's face as a profile picture and be like, that's me?
Yeah.
What about
Dogfish.
if we're doing that with pets? It's not catfishing then.
Well, it's pet fishing then,
Dog
surely.
fishing.
Dog,
Dog
no, it
fishing?
can't be. It can't be animal specific, surely.
Pet
Oh,
fishing.
Yeah, maybe it is
Just
just pet fishing.
Has
Pet
to be.
fishing. Yeah. Hey, come and look at my cool dog. He goes on a hot date and brings him back and says, look at my
It's a
pet.
stuffed animal.
Wow, that was a stuffed animal, and that was a catalogue that probably came in the mail. Pulse, look, I hope that wasn't too hard to clean up. At least it's not like all over the place. It's kind of centralised in one spot, right, Rusty?
Look, as far as messes go, I can't help but wonder if Sean has already cleaned it up and is trying to make his dog repent for their sins.
Yeah, just look
for
at
the
it.
photo.
Yeah.
But look, that is absolutely a mess. So I feel you. I feel you on that.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those. Plants ripped up all over the couch. You name it, we've had it. Oh, Sebi. What's it begging for? Is it you got some? I bet you there's food. I bet you there's a schmacko in the hand
Wait
off
a
screen.
minute.
This dog is smiling. Look at
Just the
him.
teeth.
Don't we just put the side by side with Kitty's photo? There is, and it's just perfect harmony. We're matchmaking on air with pets.
I think
It's
it's got
Romeo
that
and Juliet.
real cute underbite crank in there as well. You see his little bottom teeth just coming through. That all it's just actually smiling a little bit. Is his lipsy stuck in his teeth? Who knows? Everyone in Twitch chat is just like, these guys are all animal people because they're using the terms that no normal people would use. Now, I'm glad that that's happened. I think we have one more. We do. Okay. Stickman Sand. What have we got? Picky the Cat and Gabe and B Bunny. Left to right. Adopt, don't shop. Oh, well there you go. So
Just one.
Stickman Sand with a nice little family of fur friends. Kitty, you're a cat person. Great Pinky the Cat. How's that hut? Is that looking pretty comfy?
I'm loving the fact that the cat's name is Pinky and it has a little cute pink nose. It's so cute. It's pink noses. Cats with pink noses are my favorite. But Chobi has a black nose, so I've started to like cats with black nose as well because they're all so cute. I just love cats. I love cats. Please send more photos of cats. I'll never get the end of it.
Well, that's it, right? So, Sebi, not Sebi, whoever that was at the end, sorry, I forgot the name, but your cat is cute out of 10, so congratulations on that. Now, that brings us to the end of the day. We got one more day to get to. Rusty, you're not going to be here tomorrow, so, say your part before you go and, rest yourself.
Good luck. Hopefully no one disconnects and you have to solo cast tomorrow.
We've all done it now.
'Cause now we've all had a part of it, haven't we?
Hey, I'm still waiting for my real debut, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But look, that is it for day number 2 of week number 5. A whole bunch of action came today, but you saw what's on tomorrow. Don't miss it. Be here. Be square, so you fit into the square hole, or whatever they say. Love you. See you then.
The 7-foot shack just making your life a nightmare. You got to
Oh
engage.
no, Falcon's going in. 26 left for the Baron. The turret goes down. Beautiful trap there by the Victor. That's absolutely huge. They've taken down 2, and most importantly, they've removed the rise. Shinky said there's no protection now for their center. Burton the flash, the horse goes in. Giddy up, because PGG are on a ride to victory. You know, he's been hanging out here for a very, very long time. Whilst that entire push went on, he's been looking for the biggest flank, the biggest long con, the biggest supreme display of talent, and he will die looking for that opportunity. Mammoth a little bit too strong so far. They're low, but the stasis effects are broken. The resets of these cooldowns is too strong. Triple team fights, triple kills. It's the beast. The target they're after. Soliflay connects, and maybe it is the target they want. They find the Tom Kedge. Big damage turns around though. Look how much the Super Mega Death Rocket did that time. Combo that with collateral damage.
That predictability is working in Kanga's favor.
Yeah, Tani trying to run away from this one. He's hit the Valkyrie, but you can't go much further. Tapoon jumps in with a TP to try and back him up, but his bottom mid laner can't do much to answer back now. Fido goes gold. Will Kanga protect him? No, they will not. Mid laner's removed. Rage jumps in now. He's got the white and the green. He's sniping from afar. He can't kill confirm, but Arthur can. The Gale Force is there. And Zin with a Yumi. Just not running away.
Hey, look, Menulog.
Oh,
Draku.
okay. Oh, bench your son. Yes. Yes.
Is getting into action with those